All right, Cheri Fox, you're in the hot seat. So thank you for doing this. So Cheri is so we're going to be doing some staff videos, and Cheri has volunteered to be the guinea pig against her better judgment.
That is true.
Yeah. So essentially what we're going to be doing, what I'm going to be doing is just asking Cheri some questions about who she is and how she ended up here at the Well-Being, and just kind of finding out a bit more about Cheri, and so people can, get an idea of who we have working here as a staff. So, all right, so first question, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where have you worked in the past? Do you have any areas of treatment that you specialize in? So just give me your background a little bit.
Okay. So I have been here for a few years, and I love working here because it's kind of the culmination of what I've lived out in my life. But I have worked with people, supporting people throughout my life. So in my 20s, I loved teaching childbirth education and acting as a doula and being present and ushering in new life. I also had a stint as a clown, Sparkles.
I did not know. Okay, this is news. Oh man. Okay. Sparkles the clown. Holy
right.
cow. All right.
Did balloon animals.
This is awesome.
It's a little juggling. Tried to do juggling while I rode my unicycle.
Really? So you can juggle?
Well, not much anymore. Okay. I can't ride my unicycle anymore.
Right.
I do some of it, but yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I can still do a lot of balloon animals.
Okay.
So if we need balloon animals for the agency,
Sure.
I'm on it.
Sure. How did you get into how did you get into the clown industry?
Right. Well, there was a unicycle for sale at a garage sale in our neighborhood in Alger, and so I bought it, and we started working on riding it, and then I realized it's, Michigan State has a clown college. Some might say it's all a clown college, so then I kind of signed up for classes and went to clown
That's
college.
really
It was really fun. It was very fun.
Holy
Developed
cow.
a character.
Never in a million. I mean, I guess with your personality and you love life and you are very enthusiastic. I guess I'm not surprised, but I'm totally shocked that at some point in your career that you were a clown. Okay,
Right.
okay.
I think my best gig, I would say, hands down, was my time and season of mothering 5 kids. So,
Okay.
was able to be a bit more present and usher them from, kiddos to young adults.
Sure,
That's been great.
Yeah.
But going back, as my kids began to grow up, I went back and trained as a spiritual director at the Dominican Center, and learned to listen for where people found meaning outside of themselves, where they sensed, God's presence. And that was even further invitation then to continue on to be present with people within the counseling session. And so, that's what I've done in the last season, whether that's been leading groups at Forest View, or whether that's been being present and helping people grieve loss at the Association for the Blind, and continue on to adjust to how they can live meaningful and full lives there. And then now here.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. As far as your work here is concerned, is there any area that you specialize in, or you just really enjoy, like it's a part of your passion?
Right. I really do appreciate walking with people through grief, whether that's grieving the loss of a job or grieving the loss of a friendship or a relationship. We kind of think of grief and tend to compartmentalize it as the loss of life, but I appreciate walking with people through grief and loss, and seeing and looking for places of new hope. And I think that's actually a privilege too, to shine a light and look for where is the light, where is hope, to continue moving on.
Yeah.
And then I simply really appreciate the value of being able to sit with each other, listen to each other's stories, listen and be able to shine light on what stories maybe aren't true anymore, what stories are inviting.
And how is your story changing?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Because our stories are always changing, and how are you coping with that and adapting to that, and what are the struggles with that, and what are the kind of the joys of that? I forgot to turn off the phone.
Okay, break.
Just a few minutes, it'll be fine.
Exactly.
So that's great. That is great.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So second question. What's that? No, we're good. They'll be fine. They're fine. Whoever it is fine. Cheri is working, so
Okay,
she'll
good,
take
good,
it. Yeah. Number 2, what would you say is the most important thing that a person should get out of going to see a therapist? Like, what's the number one thing that a person should experience or get out of going to see a therapist?
Right. And I hate superlatives, so
Okay. I don't even know what's a superlative.
David Letterman with his top 10 countdown list of what do you want to get from therapy. But
Sure.
I think that the most important thing is to know that someone else is with you. I doubt if Shakespeare ever saw a therapist, but his quote, "To thine own self be true," is really important and comes to mind. It takes courage, as we were just talking about, stories, to look back at ourselves, our stories, to look for, wait, what is my true self right now? So I think learning to see ourselves more accurately, more presently.
Who we are and who we want to be versus who who do others want us to be,
right? Or who we've been,
right?
Who we feel stuck at being,
right. Yeah, no, that's great. I agree.
But I think that doesn't happen in isolation. We think that I can just think myself out of this, but that some of those voices within our heads can be really shaming and can be really cannot speak the truth. And so having someone else, to accompany us on that, to look for true self.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Okay. Well, remember the next time to turn the phone off. All right. Okay. Number 3. You work here at the Wellbeing as a therapist, so clearly exercise is important to you. What makes you consider it to be such an important part of mental health treatment?
I thought about this and thought, wouldn't it be odd if you asked me, you brush your teeth, so surely you think brushing your teeth is important to physical health? And I would probably, but that's just how it's worked to best live my life. And I would say, I learned as a young adult that exercise helped me regulate and deal with distressing feelings, regulate my emotion. And then I learned it again and again and again. And over the last, 40 years have clearly seen that there's this huge connection. Now, as a therapist for others, I know the research that says that exercise can make a significant change in how we process, how we discharge emotion, whether that's depression or anxiety. Exercise, now that I'm looking ahead, supports, aging and supports, slowing cognitive decline.
Correct.
So let me go out for another run. Exercise changes the way that I interact with my affect, and it does that like nothing else does, including even talking about it. And so, it's pretty important.
Yeah, and I feel the absolute same way in terms of everything that it does, how vital it is. But it's like you and I are, we come from the same place of it's our own experiences with exercise and the impact that it's had on our mental health, to where like, okay, this is incredible. Like, I mean, what it does. And so, to recognize what it does for you, and based on all the research that's out there, what it does for, so many other people, like, okay, this has to be a part. If I want my clients to get better, this is something I'm absolutely going to be promoting.
We cannot just approach it in a cognitive talk about it, state of mind. It would just be doing a disservice to the people we work with.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next question. Do you have any advice for somebody who's never seen a therapist, but is, currently thinking about seeing one? Do you have any thoughts on that or advice?
Right. I'd say it can be really scary to reach out and ask for help. It takes a lot of courage, but you are worth it. We can do really hard things. There is light. It may just be the beginning that could potentially affect and alter the course of how we live our days on this earth. So I say there's joy ahead. Go for it. You can do this. You'll not be in it alone.
And you know, that if you go to see somebody, and I was just thinking, you know, if it's not the right
It's
fit,
not the right.
then you know,
No
find the
one
next
ever
one.
says, "Oh wait, this shirt doesn't fit. I'm not gonna ever wear clothes again."
Right, right.
It's like, okay, wait, I gotta find I gotta find another shirt that fits better. And
Right, that's a great
I think
point.
most therapists kind of will leave some leeway, like, hey, let's talk about this, but because we know that, you know, one of the significant indicators of whether, you know, counseling is successful is the relationship between
Mhm.
the client and the therapist. So yeah, don't feel afraid. It's okay to look around and try around. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
For sure. Good.
All right, last question, the
Okay.
surprise question.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Why is the well-being just so freaking awesome?
I love the well-being. I think the well-being is so freaking awesome, in large part because of who you are, Brendan. You have created a very inviting space, not only for our clients, but also for us as caregivers. And so coming here just is fun, and get to enjoy relationships both with the people I work with and the people that I care for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Well, Cheri Fox, thank you so much for doing this. I
You're
cannot,
welcome.
you know, and I have said many times, like, just how blessed I feel, you know, to have the staff that we have working here. That's kind of why I'm doing it. It's like, people need to understand, you know, who we have working here. People like Cheri and all the rest, you know, people, I think, you know, to see that we just have a really special group of people that work here, that, you know, we're all passionate about this concept and this program, and kind of, you know, hopefully having an impact on a larger scale. But right now, boy, it really is a lot of fun to come to work here, and I hope, you know, the plan is to always keep it that way for sure. So, and you add to it every day you come in. I've never seen you without a smile on your face. I don't know how you do it. It's the exercise. So thank you so much.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate
You're
it. Okay,
welcome.
awesome.
Thanks,
Great
Cheri.
job,
Yeah,
Cheri.
we'll see how that